This movie left me really conflicted. It really did. And this is going to kind of just be a sit-down chat from a Ghostbusters fan about Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm really confused how I feel about this movie. When I came out of this movie, I was somewhat disappointed. Then I saw a load of crap by a lot of people saying that Ghostbusters 2016 is better and deserves more credit because it tries more things. And I kind of got into an anger about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to double down on liking this movie just to show you guys a lesson. But now I've calmed down on it, I'm not going to do that. But, there are some people saying that Ghostbusters 2016 is better than this. I mean, it's not even the same stratosphere, the same spiritual dimension, you might say. No chance, mate. Absolutely no chance. I'm really not someone who's on the nostalgia train. Dumb and Dumber 2 was the crunch point for me because I think it was the time where I realised that bringing back these franchises 30 years later, however long later, is never the thing to do, When I was growing up, I was always like, or when I was younger, I was like, oh, I'd love to see Dumb and Dumber 2, I'd love to see Back to the Future 4, I'd love to see all these franchises come back. And then it started to happen, and you're like, this isn't right, this doesn't feel right, and you watch it and something feels wrong, and you feel like you're convincing yourself to like it. That's how it was with Dumb and Dumber 2, that's how it was with Bill and Ted Face the Music, which I've got a glowing review up on this channel. Doesn't, I wish I liked it, all these things are just leaving me wishing I liked it, really wishing I liked it, really wanting that. And Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's still that in there. I wish, I want to like it, so I'm going to defend it. I think the movie's okay. I think the movie's okay. I think the last 15 minutes are great. I don't know how that will happen, what will change in time with that. It's a sad state of affairs to be sitting here and just feeling that familiar feeling that I had with a lot of these nostalgic things that come back. I don't understand the approach, Who is this for? Because you think about it, Ghostbusters 2016 pissed off Ghostbusters fans. The fans of the original movie. Because they wanted Ghostbusters 3 for so long. Bill Murray said no, Bill Murray was a twat, Bill Murray was a dick, we all know this. And it went on, and it was just like, this is too late now. We can't have Ghostbusters 3, it's too late. And then they did Ghostbusters 2016, and then they went, right, let's say sorry to the fans, because that was a putrid load of shite. And the reason why I get so charged up and wish I could like this more is because that movie is an absolute insult to filmmaking. It's disgusting. I think everyone involved in it should be ashamed. I think all the actresses in it are diabolical in all ways and learnt nothing from it. Because when Ghostbusters Afterlife was announced, Leslie Jones jumped on Twitter and said, oh, we don't matter then. You jumped on a franchise yourself, you idiot. You jumped on a franchise. And now you say we can't. This franchise we jumped on and took. Oh, we don't matter. Like, what are you talking about? It's not your franchise now because you made a shitty movie. That whole thing, the whole thing of that, politics or not, whatever it was or not, the film is terrible. The film is one of the worst films of the last 30 years, unequivocally. So, that leaves me really, really open to Ghostbusters Afterlife. And, I presume you make this for the Ghostbusters fans? If you make it for the Ghostbusters fans, why do you put the Ghostbusters in it for 5 minutes? I don't understand. You're either making it for the Ghostbusters fans or you're making it for new fans. If you're saying we hate Ghostbusters 2016 because it didn't please the Ghostbusters fans, now we'll make Ghostbusters Afterlife to please the Ghostbusters fans, but we won't put the Ghostbusters in it really. I don't understand. Either do it or don't. And this is the situation you come up with these nostalgic things. It's like they always try and, in a lot of them, they're like going halfway because they know that, well, it's ageist, really. It's ageism. It's like, oh, we can't put them in it because they're old. Okay, everyone gets old. Very ageist society we live in, very ageist, especially in the movie industry. It's like, oh, we can't put... And it almost felt like it was saying in this, we can't put the Ghostbusters on screen for a lot because they're old. And that's really unkind. I don't understand this ageist society. If your intention is to please the Ghostbusters fans, but you can't put them on anyway, then don't make it. this whole thing, we've got ourselves in such a weird situation with Hollywood where we're so obsessed. We have to make these films. We have to take the name and make it. And then we go, oh, actually, we can't make it. Well, we'll just fart something out then. You know, that's what annoys me, you know. And, you know, obviously full of spoilers, this video, obviously all over the place. But I thought I'd just sit down, raw thoughts. Because I'm really confused, really conflicted, really defeated, really... But you know what? You know, I thought that the first half of this was a charming, amusing little movie. I didn't really get offended. I thought it was kind of a nice Steven Spielberg type vibe, Stranger Things type vibe. The kids didn't really do it for me, but I didn't... You know, the kids weren't very charismatic. And I was sitting there going, why am I... At times I was like, okay, this is fine, but is it Ghostbusters? What is Ghostbusters? It's about those 4 guys. That's what it's about. You know, this, you can't have it both ways. And they're trying to have it both ways with this. You know, don't tell me that you're going to make... Don't tell me that Ghostbusters 2016 sucks because it didn't honour Ghostbusters, and then do Ghostbusters Afterlife where you don't have the Ghostbusters in it for very long. You can't have it both ways. Either go the full hog or don't. And I know the trouble you would have got. Bill Murray would have said he's not doing the whole film because he's a complete piece of scum. You know, all these actors would, you know, I know that Ernie Douglas would have done the whole film. Dan Aykroyd probably. He probably still dealing with Bill Murray. At this age, still got that fucking ego, Bill. Put it away, mate. And, you know, he's still this... You know, Bill Murray comes across as this very kind and charming man. Not when it comes to movies and ego. He's ruthless. You know, I guarantee he refused to be in this whole movie. And once again, that puts us in a tough situation. Didn't really give me that feeling of watching Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is those 4 guys. You know, it sounds terrible and sexist. It's those 4 guys. Well, yeah, because it was. Like, okay, you know, do your own female ghost movie, but don't make it. And you know, I know there's people out there going, oh, but they just called it Ghostbusters. No, we know that it was supposed to be a version of Ghostbusters with women. And if you put the 4 Ghostbusters into Buffy, it wouldn't work because we like Buffy for the female, because that became synonymous. That's why, you know, that's what it is. And I'm going to apply the same standard here. Ghostbusters isn't teenagers. It's not Stranger Things. You know, and the sad thing about it is, I was down for the Stranger Things thing. But, you know, now I'm sitting here and realising it was just a way to crowbar Ghostbusters into 2021. It was just a way to do that. And it was perfectly fine. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get annoyed at what I saw. Because, you know what? God willing, it was 90 times better than Ghostbusters 2016. It was fairly charming. It was fairly fun. I did like the scene where they're chasing the ghost through the streets. I thought that was quite fun. It's when the movie actually got going a bit. I did get a bit excited. I felt something for these characters. But I didn't feel enough for these characters. I didn't feel charisma. I didn't feel the spirit of Ghostbusters, which is sarcasm, jokiness, you know, irreverence. You know, that wasn't really the goal here. It was kind of Steven Spielberg ambling stuff. You know, even the adults in the film, Paul Rudd, he's not really... It's almost like Paul Rudd is trying to act like he's in a Ghostbusters movie, but no one else is. No one's giving him a hand, poor Paul. You know, the mum isn't, the kids aren't. No one feels like they're in a Ghostbusters movie other than Paul Rudd. Why would you not just put the Ghostbusters in it? Oh, because they're too old to do the stunts. Yeah, I know, but you don't have to spend the whole movie with them doing stunts. This is what I don't get. Like, if you can't do it, then don't do it. You know, that final kind of culmination was great. It was wonderful. You know, they can still do it. You know, they still pull off the characters. It was a real, for better or for worse, say what you want about Bill Murray, it was a real meaningful thing to see Bill Murray standing there with Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson. I bet inside, you know, say what you want about Bill Murray, and I have said it, he's probably hurting badly for how he didn't speak to Harold Ramis for years, for how he dogged on Ghostbusters 3 for years. He probably feels terrible for it. But do a whole movie, Bill. That would be a way to make up for it. You know, it just felt like, right, we've had an hour and a half, now we have what you're here for. And if it's not what you're here for, today's kids are not going to latch on to that. Today's, you know, they're going to watch it and go, oh, this is fun. And then suddenly these old guys come in. no one knows. Kids today don't care about Ghostbusters. No one knows about Ghostbusters except old Ghostbusters fans. So you're stuck in a rock and a hard place. This is the nostalgia problem. It's like, well, we're trying to convert new fans then. Well, yeah, but you're not converting them to Ghostbusters. You're converting them to a Steven Spielberg film, and then you're putting in these 4 old guys who they're not going to know who they are or care. I care because I'm a Ghostbusters fan, and the Ghostbusters fans are going to care and then enjoy that. And for me, it was kind of a culmination, a kind of a moment of. They got me with the nostalgia, they got me with the heartfelt, they got me, I love that whole sequence, the whole thing of Harold Ramis being a ghost, the Ghostbusters, the looks on the faces, they still really delivering the parts. Even the inflections, the vocal inflections, the facial expressions, the chemistry is there. So I wanted to see it more. It doesn't bother me that they're old, it might bother you, it might bother people out there who are obsessed with age. Literally obsessed to the point of if they have another birthday, they obsess over it. That's how mentally obsessed we are. And usually the people who are obsessed with age are really old, and then they call people old. Like Mark Commode, the reviewer, complete donut who says that Ghostbusters doesn't hold up, started saying, oh, it feels forced, it feels this and that. How old are you, mate? How old are you? You hypocrite. And he'd probably go, well, I'm not trying to do a Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, but I can still be ageist against you. It's the same thing. You're still reviewing movies, you're still showing your face. I could just say you were better 30 years ago, just like you're saying here. How about that? That's why I feel like I should defend this movie. I have to be honest with myself too. But the people who are saying that 2016 is better because it turned it on its head, so what? So what? Oh wow, it turned something on its head, great. That's the great fun we're having with Doctor Who now, the great fun we're having with Star Trek. The money we're making, yeah, we're raking it in, aren't we? On those failed, mess, disgusting, shameful, no one on the planet liking franchises, losing ratings by the fucking millisecond. If you're gonna do it, you have to try and go the full hog and do it. Sometimes it doesn't work, like Dumb and Dumber 2. Usually it doesn't work. Dumb and Dumber 2, Bill and Ted, all the Terminator movies, all this stuff where it brings it back, usually doesn't work. But I saw a snippet in here where the guys could still play it, they still had the mannerisms, they still had the chemistry, including other characters, but at least have these guys in it more. This is what frustrates me about this nostalgia. It's either we bring them back and it's shit, or we bring them back half, and they're not really in the film, and then they come in at the end scene and you wish you could have seen it anyway. If you're going to do it, just do it. The film had not many laughs, it wasn't very funny. I was laughing when the Ghostbusters came on, but that was pretty much it. It didn't really have the spirit of Ghostbusters, but it had the spirit of a kind of fun, sweet adventure, family sort of thing. It did work in that respect, but I just wasn't very interested or invested. I'd say it's like a 2.5, 3-star film. I'd have to get to 3 stars with the Ghostbusters scenes. About that, 2.5 wasn't offensive, but it was just, sadly to say, pointless. And I guess my opinion is being worked out as I'm venting here, but it seemed pointless. It wasn't a horrible film, but it leaves you disappointed. It leaves you just very confused about the state of movies. That's how it leaves you. Obviously, you get that post-credit scene between Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver, proving that she could have been in it, proving that they stayed together, or at least as friends. They were quite funny. They had chemistry. Why aren't you putting them in it? I know why. I know the answer. Because you think they look too old. Well, don't do it then. Or stop being ageist. There's my answers. Don't do it or stop being ageist. That's it. Anyways, what do you guys think of Ghostbusters Afterlife? Subscribe to the channel if you're a movie geek just like me. I'll see you guys in the afterlife. That was worth the whole ramble, wasn't it? See you in the afterlife when we can discuss all these long-awaited sequels that ended up being disappointing. All the long-awaited sequels that didn't happen. And then they happened in the afterlife. I don't know. I'm talking rubbish. Anyways, see you guys next time.